on YouTube and audio wherever you listen to your podcasts. Every week, Brock and James talk the latest rumors, news, and theories.
Thrilling intro. I say we just start the show, Brock.
Let's do it.
Podcast. Join us on Patreon and then. Hey!
There we go. Welcome to the
Oh
Rebel
my
Scum
God.
podcast. They tried to shut us down, but we said no.
No way, Jose.
Rebel Scum podcast. I'm Brock. This is
I'm James. Gonna move
What
the
up?
paper bag here. So yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone.
and
You stuck around.
this is episode 274 of the Rebel Scum podcast, where we talk Star Wars and Star Wars affiliated things. James,
Yeah.
what is up?
James Gunn announced the slate for the DC films. I think that has to. Can you just? You know what? There's not a whole lot going on in Star Wars right now, right? I have not caught up on the Bad Batch,
That's okay.
but I do want to point something out though, because the show is out right now called The Last of Us, The
Yeah.
Last of You, The Last of Yous guys, I think is the actual title.
Mhm.
And because I haven't seen Bad Batch this season of Bad Batch, so I can't really comment. But I see a lot of the criticisms online, which is the worst place to base anything off of.
Yeah.
But I'm going to, because there's a lot of complaints that a lot of the episodes of Bad Batch this week, not so much. And I haven't seen this week, and I don't know if you have, so I can't spoil it. But I heard this week not so much. But I hear people complaining about filler episodes a lot of the Bad Batch. But hear me out here now.
Yeah.
Wait, here's what I'm gonna say. Now we just went through an episode of The Last of You guys, which people are hailing as like the greatest episode in television history.
Mm.
And whether you like it or not, it's not really the point. But like and I've seen people who love that episode who complain about Bad Batch filler episodes, and whatever you think of this episode of The Last of Us, basically it was an hour and 15 minutes to get to them getting a car. So I mean, and you can love the episode as much as you can, but what's the difference between that? Like, it's basically a filler to show you characters in this world. So what could be the difference between these two? I don't understand why even Rebels was like that. I remember Rebels would be like, oh, it's a filler episode. But yeah, for some reason, The Last of Us, I mean, the acting was spectacular and it looks great, all that stuff. But like, what's the difference between a Bad Batch filler and a Last of Us filler? Filler.
Thriller, no filler. I don't. It's like, because we talked about this off pod, and it's like, it's confusing because I didn't play the game. We both haven't played this game. We've said this already, so it's like we're kind of going into this blind outside of like knowing the bare bones of what the game is about, and like what I've learned in the week. I guess it's been a week. It came out on Sunday, right? So, and it's Thursday now. So like, it seems like the Nick Offerman character, which is Bill is actually present in the game. So they seem to have retconned that a little bit, but the meaning of that character is still roughly the same. So I guess like the only thing I can think of outside of not like having played the game, just knowing the following, like I would argue that the following for Last of Us, at least the video game, is much larger than that of Bad Batch. I would say Star Wars and Last of Us fandoms are probably they're very particular about their
IP
franchise, right? So like,
for sure.
all I can say to that is like, perhaps like, I'm assuming the Bill character is pretty like a side character. I guess I feel like he's the person that gets supplies from at some point.
Well, I did speak to Rob about it. I don't want to. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but he said, because my thing was like, I'm like, it's just like because I did think the performances and everything was great, but at the end of it, I was just like, what? Like, I felt like I spent an hour and 50 minutes. So I think it's the spoilers, so they can get a truck. And I was talking to Rob, and he's like, and Rob's he's played the game, he's finished the game, he's finished both games. So he's coming from a perspective of knowing the entire storyline, right? And he said he sees both sides because he thought, the episode was strong in all those aspects. But he said, basically, my criticism of it, he goes, is pretty valid because really, like when you get into the second season game, whatever happens in there really has no bearings on that.
Right.
Which, but anyway, I don't know why we're talking about this. But I just was thinking, it was just blowing my mind that people were
Yeah.
complaining about Bad Batch filler.
Yeah.
But then we just had this episode of Last of Us, which I mean, you could argue whatever you want, but they
Mhm.
like it's just you complain about one but not the other. It's just the way our minds. Maybe it's the Star Wars fans just need to complain about Star Wars. you know?
No, like having watched all of the Bad Batch
Oh, you're caught up.
episodes, I'm all caught up, and it's 4 or 5 episodes in, and only one has been really plot pushing. Like, don't get me wrong, like the show is good. Like the stories that these one-off little episodic things, these adventures that go on, they're cool. They're very interesting. They're like, if anything, they add to just Star Wars as like, here's the vibe of what it was like right after Order 66. So it's like, it's not terrible, but I thought to myself today, it's like, this is where we get to the point where this is like, oh, right, this is for children, right? So it's like, if I was like a preteen or a child or even like 18 to 21 watching this, I'd be like, this is pretty rad. Like, this is cool. Like, this is like, I enjoy it and I wouldn't question it. But like, it's like this season is not popping off. Like, I can tell that this show is made with love, but like, I don't know where it's going. So it's sort of like,
Is that
mhm.
yeah? It's like the problem. Like you don't know what the purpose of this show is.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna keep watching it because I do a Star Wars podcast, so I have to get all the stuff. But like,
Yeah, because I'm not watching it, so I'm gonna watch it eventually.
and I'm gonna be finished my High Republic reading for next episode. I'm almost done the last book I have to read, but it's just sort of like it reminded me of that, like reading these books and watching these episodes where I'm just like, this is really cool, and this of course builds the galaxy and what have you. But it's just like it's like, especially High Republic, you're getting all these new characters, all these new names. And you're like, I can't remember all these names, and maybe I'm just 38 and this is my life now. But like, it's sort of like, I don't want it to make it sound like it's Marvel, but like there has to be a purpose to it to an extent, right? Like, I don't know. But
well, yeah, no, I think they're even if it's not Marvel. I think the thing with Andor, because Andor is, and I think you can compare these to Andor because Andor is Star Wars, but it's so separate from Star Wars.
yeah,
But when you watch it, there's a purpose to what it is, right? And I think Book of Boba Fett, there was a purpose to it, but I don't know if the purpose was satisfying for a lot of people, but also when it started, no one knew. Like when they changed him from being a badass to being like captured and all that, they changed what the purpose was of even that. And I think you're right though. I think there needs to be a purpose, and the audience needs to feel like there's a purpose. And right now, I think there are a few properties where they're just a few Star Wars things where they're just like Star Wars is the purpose. And I think that's how they approached a lot of the sequel trilogy when Disney first bought it. I think Star Wars is the purpose. It's not, but what is the actual purpose into it? And I think you're right on. And I think that's why Andor works so well. And Mando, I mean, going into it, I don't think we really knew what a purpose was. But then obviously Grogu ends up being that purpose. So you're right, though. If there's nothing to connect you to make you attached to what's going on, why bother?
I will say that this episode is probably the best, like just one-off episode of this season because it's the return of Gunji. So we go to Kashyyyk. Like if you're like me and you love Wookiees, this episode's for you. That's good, but like the episode prior to it is they go on a treasure hunt thing with the oh gosh, what's her name? She's a Black comedian. She's
Omega?
No. There's a new character. Yeah, Omega. No, like a Black comedian. Like she's been around forever. Oh god,
Wanda Sykes.
Wanda Sykes. She's the new character.
Oh, it actually is Wanda Sykes.
It's Wanda Sykes. Yeah. She voices. I forget the character's name. But they go. She's like a treasure hunter, so they go on a treasure hunt thing. So it's like that's a fun idea, and like Omega is like liking it, and they're in a temple, they're unlocking things. It's a fun adventure. It actually feels kind of like oh gosh, what's the PlayStation game where you're like Indiana Jones? Uncharted. It's exactly like that. It's the same vibe. And then they unlock this like massive like mech that's destroying the planet. They're like, we gotta stop it. It's gonna blow up our ship and we're screwed. And it's like, that's the episode. It's just like they do stop it and that's that. And I'm like, this is very cool, but like, what's the point? Like, it's. I would argue right now until the season's done that like Tales of the Jedi is a far superior show to season 2 of Bad Batch. I mean, and you can crush that series in 2 hours because they're 20-minute episodes.
I don't know. I haven't seen your news yet, but do you have that new announcement that they came out today for the news? The May 4th announcement?
No, I did not get that. I did the news like 2 days ago.
So May 4th, we're getting a Visions season 2 on May 4th. And Studio Ghibli's one of them, but also the studio who did Wallace and Gromit are doing a Star Wars.
Oh, yes. I saw that. Yeah.
Totally excited for that, by the way, because I'm hoping. I love stop motion. Claymation's my favorite. I went to a claymation class in the 90s, Brock. Claymation, how to claymate, and I love it. I can't wait. I hope that's a fact. It's not really confirmed, I suppose, but I'm all in on that.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, I saw people complaining about that announcement. I really feel like we just want to complain about Star Wars at this moment in time.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta get like no announcement of a movie, right?
And there shouldn't be. Honestly, there should be. If this Damien Lindelof thing is happening, if it is actually happening, like all the rumors are speculating, then if it starts shooting in April, then if it starts shooting before Star Wars Celebration, then you can announce it at Star Wars Celebration and let everybody know. Like, hey, this is happening. We're in England. We're in London. Or we're in Britain, wherever the hell they are. Because guess what? Down the road, this is happening. Here's a handful of people. Not even a handful. Like Damon Lindelof, whatever. Yeah, I'm doing a Star Wars movie. It's going to take place after Episode 9, or whatever you want to say. Give like a little, just enough information, whatever. And if it's not happening, then just shut your mouths and just don't. We don't need to know about more Rogue Squadrons. We don't need to know about any of that stuff. Just when the movie's ready to go. So I'm okay with no. I mean, people are disappointed, but I'm not, man. It's just the Visions 2 thing is. I'm fine with that. That's it. I mean, what day is it? It's February 2nd. It's like, who cares day? It's Groundhog Day. It's a great day. Bill Murray. God bless him. But it's like who cares? Like, it's not like it's a day where we expect news, right? It's not like everything should be dropping today. It's not like that. So I'm okay. Like May 4th would be a day, like, you know, if announced on May 4th, but they didn't, and I don't need them to announce a movie until there's a movie to announce.
Hey, they dropped that there's a whole bunch of Return of the Jedi Funko Pops coming out. And it's one of the Ewoks playing the Stormtroopers helmets as a drum. And I'm like, I'm in. Thank you. I will take that, please. Thanks.
Yeah, I absolutely. I will say, so those ones leaked, and then the Flash movie ones did as well. And that was the one of both sets. That was the one that stuck out to me the very most, because I was like, ooh. Now I have to ask you, because you mentioned Funko and I went on the Flash rant. There are 2 new Batman Funkos coming out, Brock. Will you be purchasing the 2 Batman Funko Pops?
Which ones?
It looks like it's Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton from the Flash.
Right. Nah, not really. It's just like there's a point where you have to stop, and it's like if it isn't like inspiring joy, like inciting joy, like Ewok playing Stormtrooper helmets as a drum, like. But that's just me. Like, I'm married now. I have to like rein it in a little bit. So
I haven't bought a Funko Pop in
because you're married
forever. Yeah, exactly. But Rob Darth Ward got me Qui-Gon for my birthday. He did get me feels like every Christmas he gets me like a new Donald Duck one, and I'm actually very much okay with the Donald Duck Funkos. Exactly. I have like this. I don't have like a normal looking Donald Funko. I have 2 that I bought myself. One of them is here. It's I think it's here. It's from Kingdom Hearts, I think, or no, from Monsters Inc. And it's like a Monsters Inc. The Kingdom Hearts one I have up there out of the box. That was the first one I got. But it's weird. But yeah, I don't get them anymore either. But that one that you're talking about with the Scout Trooper helmets and stuff, that one, that was the one that stuck out to me too. I was like, ooh, that's one I would get. But then I saw there was like a Wiccan and a Luke, and I'm like, these are have they not been done to death already? Like,
they're putting out a line that's like the 55th anniversary or something like that, and they're like, I think the Luke and Leia ones are slightly different, but like the Chewbacca one is identical to all the other Chewbacca ones. I'm like, cool. You know, like this is how I look at it. Like for people joining the fandom, you have to kind of give them the opportunity to get those things that used to be like Pokemon Go does it all the time, where like they have an event and it's like, here's what you can capture. It's like, I don't want to do that. I have that. It's like, well, yeah, but you've been playing since 2016. Maybe a new person would like to get Pikachu with a backwards hat because you've like you gotta remember that we're a community, so it's like you gotta give these people a full opportunity to catch up.
Is Pokemon Go still a thing?
Yeah.
I never knew what I was doing with that, but you were the only one I knew on it. I was having a lot of fun. That's the only Pokemon I've ever played still to this day. And I did. Nintendo emailed me and they're like, "Hey, you can get 2 games for like $100 or something."
Yeah, I looked it up today.
And I'm like, and then did you see that the games are like you can get Pokemon Violet or Pokemon Silver? I'm like, all the Pokemon.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm going to do that because I don't want 2 games. I feel like you just give me 1 game for like $20, all in. But
I saw that one and I was like, I don't get what the point of this. It's like if I signed up and got a free game, then yeah. But like this is like spend $100. It's like $130 Canadian at least.
Well,
so it's just like, you mean the price of 2 games? Like a new AAA game? Like, yeah, Pokemon is $90 or $80 or whatever. Like, I'm like, that's not a deal. So
no, I didn't think it was much of a. I didn't look at it that. I looked at it, I go, that's not exciting, and I kind of moved on. But it was funny that they used Pokemon. It was like all these Pokemon games. So like, are there other games that I? What if I don't want Pokemon?
It's like they're like, well, we have our yearly subscription, so you can play the online games, so the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo ROM. We're gonna jazz it up. Like they have to pay $60 a year instead of $20, and then they get Sega and 64. That's a great idea. I get it. I don't pay the extra. I just do
too
the
much.
20 a year. It's still too much, but I'm like, that I get because they keep upgrading the thing.
Yes.
But it's just like they don't do that with their normal games outside of like the online functions to them, which is fine, totally fine. But it's just like, don't try to be Game Pass for Xbox. Like you can't. Like Game Pass is like giving you libraries of games, of new games. Like it's like if you wait long enough, a lot of games pop up on there. So it's like, don't compete. Just understand that, like, okay, we have this library of things that you grew up with. So just stay with that. Like, just stay. But
like I'm all, I love those retro, man. The Nintendo Online that saved me a few times from boredom. Yeah. And I mean, I play, but like the Game Pass and the PlayStation one, whatever it's called, that's got to be the future of where we're going. Like the Netflix of gaming has to be there. Star Wars got delayed.
It got delayed.
What's it called? No, the game, the Fallen Order.
Oh yeah. That's in my news.
It got delayed. When was it supposed to come out? Okay, I won't ruin your news, but
in the next couple of months or something like that.
Yeah, it's still coming out in April, right? Or is it next?
I can't remember. I gotta look at my notes.
I'm not too devastated because I don't have a new console and I don't know if it's available on the older one. So
it's not.
I don't know how to be disappointed by things anymore when it's like, well, it was never an option anyway for me.
Yeah, it's delayed to the end of April, so it's like,
like a month.
Yeah, so
we're crying over a month.
And you know what? And we'll get into the news, but like it makes sense why they're delaying it. It's not like to piss anybody off. When is Celebration? Is that
April?
Yeah. I mean, I can see why they would want to get it out, but actually no, delay it and show some stuff at Celebration.
Make me go to a panel of Celebration.
Yeah.
Not that I'm going to be there, but people are a month. We don't want it a month. First of all, it's going to be a month. It's going to be readily available everywhere. It's not going to sell out. Yeah. When I was a kid, Brock, let me tell you about my Mario Brothers 3 experience, where it took me like 4 years to get that damn game, okay? So don't complain about your 1 month delay.
Yeah.
You weren't around in the dark ages when I didn't get Mario 3 until Super Nintendo was out. Like I had to wait that long because it was just everywhere you go, it just would be like, nah, we don't have it anymore. So you know what? patience is a virtue, and I still play Mario 3. So maybe you'll still play Jedi Fallen Order Survivor of the Fittest
Yeah,
in
like
30
I
years
haven't
too.
really bought a physical copy of a game in a long time, and it's like I went to GameStop. I'm like, I remember this place. It's like I have a membership to it, and I barely use it. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's not good for them. But it's like so much easier to just get it digitally.
And you know it's funny because I have the Jedi game on physical, and I just
Mhm.
bought digital Shredder's Revenge on the Nintendo digital, and then I bought the Cowabunga collection on the PlayStation on disc because it was cheaper on disc at the time. And I gotta tell you, I wish it was digital
Yeah,
because then I
yeah.
wouldn't have to waste a disc in there.
It's sort of a I don't know. Yeah, especially like certain things like digitally. There's more sales. Like I mean, like I play Nintendo Switch exclusively, so it's like the Nintendo AAA stuff like Pokemon like almost never goes on sale. So it's like you
Yeah,
might like $10 off, but like
yeah,
these
like at
independent
Christmas
games,
time.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. You got a
like
cough.
I've sweet. Well, I have like I've looked at my Nintendo Switch and I looked at because you can tell you the hours you played, and I have over 700 hours in Stardew Valley, which is a $20 game that
Oh my
keeps improving itself. Like that's the thing about like you want to go with these independent games because yeah, we all have DLC for games and blah blah blah. But like this game is $20 and I played it over and over and over and over again. Granted, it's totally going after the nostalgia of our generation of like Sega or
yeah,
Super Nintendo, that 16, 8,
yes.
whatever bit look. Like you make a game like that, I will buy it. Like it's like there's no
Yeah, I'm with you.
conversation. I will buy it. Like because it's always cheaper anyways. It's like so, but like it's like I don't know. They have to be without ruining the story. It's like that Respawn is making a good move because they want to put out a proper game, and we've seen so many games like immediately crap the bed because they forced it out too fast. It's like don't don't make it a decent item, and then if there's things you can fix, you can do it in patches, and people won't notice.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so
Or just keep they should release like Shredder's Revenge for Star Wars, like a 16-bit Star Wars game, like Super Star Wars Returns or something. Super Super Star Wars. eh, I don't. They never will. You're right. The thing is, those games are simple, and you know what? The 16-bit games, because I play a lot of those games, but I have a lot of the new games as well. And the replayability of the old ones, I think, is stronger because they're not story focused. They're being attacked by a dog.
no, he was
Uh,
in here, and my wife
uh,
took him away.
I hope I hope he jumps up on you. Um, but I think the replayability is a lot stronger on those side-scrolling games and stuff because the story isn't the focus of the game. It's just like arcade, like running around. Do you know what I mean? Like when it's the story, when you're done the story, it's going. You have. I find for me to replay the story games, I have to wait like a year and a half, 2 years, whatever, for me to enjoy it again in the right way. Whereas the other games are just like stupid, mindless.
Mm,
They're very
yeah.
different. They're very different game. I'm not saying one's better than anything. I just think the replayability on those old ones, like 700 hours, is because it's just colorful and fun. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, like I was just playing the first Sonic on my Switch today, and I paid $6 for it. I'm like,
oh, I bought the Genesis collection with like,
oh yeah,
it's fun. I have two mini Sega Genesis behind me there.
yeah,
I have they're very different games, and I think there's a place for all of them because it's fun. And let's just have fun. I'm with you though. I think it's good that they're going to stall this game
yeah,
because they can. And I love the first Battlefront game, but if you
yeah.
saw the reaction to that when people had to spend a dime, yeah, you'll go on Roblox and pay like $20 a month.
You
But God forbid,
cryptocurrency.
yeah, God forbid EA does that though. Then there's a whole thing about it.
Mm,
Jeez, blows my mind. I'm not really into. I don't really know. People hate EA. I don't really know that storyline so much, so I can't But I just find it funny. Like everyone's like, I don't want to spend a dime, and then I get like Overwatch. I'm like, but they're making me do the same thing on this game. Like it's
Oh yeah, yeah.
but people love it here. I don't get it. Like
Pay to play like makes no sense. You literally probably do it on your phone all the time with different games. DLC is totally lucrative way of making more money on a game. It happens like all the time. Like you could just not pay for it. That could be it.
that's what actually I did that with in the first Injustice game. I bought it when it first came out, and then there was all these like add-ons. I was like, well, I don't want to buy this stuff. I'm not spending $8 on Batgirl. So I never did. And then Injustice 2 came out, and I said no, because then Injustice came out again like a year later for $20, and you got all the DLC. So when Injustice 2 came out, I said no, I'm not going to pay for you. I'm going to wait. And then Ninja Turtles, and it took me 4 years. But Brock, I got that thing for $9.99. The Game of the Year edition with all the add-ons. I had to wait 4 years, but I'll tell you, I love that game actually. I really like it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of fun, and Ninja Turtles are fantastic. But I'm not going to pay full price for it. You crazy? Get out of my face. I was born in the '80s.
Speaking of Ninja Turtles, I finally got a copy of The Last Ronin, and if I see you, you gotta read it. It's pretty good. A little overhyped, but I liked it.
I thought the concept was cool.
Yeah.
I got this. I should show this. I got the Shredder's Revenge. It came with the limited run Shredder's Revenge.
Oh, you got limited run. Nice. That's a.
Well, I also got the digital for the Switch. I haven't even opened this yet. I'm going to. This is for PlayStation 4 because I got the digital on the Switch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got this one. It's like the VHS copy.
Yeah. Nice.
I thought it looked cool. But then I'm like, freaking physical copy. Get it out of my face.
Yeah, like Grief Card. But yeah, the limited run, like kudos to them because they don't even like design games. They just take properties, repackage them in some like exclusive looking thing or whatever, and make money off it. It's like, wow.
Do you know how I found out about them?
How?
I'm not gonna get it because I don't want to get up, but like 4 years ago, I think it was when I first moved here, somebody retweeted a contest that Limited Run was having.
Yeah.
And it was like, if you retweet this, you can win Star Wars on Nintendo or Game Boy. And I was like, oh, okay. So I retweeted it and I won.
Nice.
And I got it on Nintendo. I never heard of them. So I followed them. So now I do. And then our friend Dave, he's the one that sent me the link for that. And I was like, I got to get it. And I missed out on the vinyl. I should have got the vinyl record, but I missed out on that. But this thing costs way too much money in Canada. I'll tell you that. It was like,
oh yeah,
I could have bought like 12
crazy.
video games. Could have got 12 video games for the price of
It's, you know what? It's great because it's like we just said, we'd rather buy digital, but like this gives a like collectability to it that people will go for because it's like, yeah, like a Pokemon game is worth way much more if you have the physical copy. And I'm huge into Pokemon. Like about the last 3 games, I have all of them digitally, so it's like. I lose my membership or my sign in and they're all gone. So yeah, like I think those things are so great. Like I've always been tempted, but I'm like, oh.
Yeah, they are. I'll open it up soon. I just haven't had a reason to, and I don't want to lose it. But it came with this card that I almost threw out because I didn't know it was in the box.
Yeah.
But it's just like, so obviously I love Ninja Turtles, I love Star Wars. Those are 2 things that I would spend the money on for these.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've seen things on there and I'm like, not. There is some that I want, but they're very pricey, and you got to really, if you're frugal like me, you just got to pick your battles on those ones. And this was one that I thought was worth it, and whether or not it is, we'll find out, I guess.
And this has been Brock and James Phil time.
All right, odds.
Successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 1,090 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
Never tell me.
That played a lot better than I thought it would.
Yeah. Never tell me the odds. Brought to you and me by patreon.com/Rebel Scum podcast. If you like what we do, why don't you support us? Because we would greatly appreciate it, and it would make us buy more video games or perhaps consoles so we can play the new video games. Just head on down to patreon.com and check out what we have and be wonderful and all that jazz while my email opens up.
By the way, did you see it's Groundhog Day today? So yeah, Punks
Mhm.
and Tommy Phil just ruined our lives with more winter.
Yeah.
But apparently, Quebec was supposed to have that. Did you hear about their groundhog in Quebec? Poor
No.
guy. So they have. I don't know where in Quebec it is. So we have Wyerton Willie here, but Wyerton
Yeah.
Willie died. I think. But anyway, so they had a groundhog in Quebec all ready to go. Everyone showed up for the big groundhog ceremony, and he died last night. The groundhog passed away last night. His shadow must have been very scary. So people showed up expecting like the shadow, and instead they got like a funeral basically for the groundhog. He lived he lived 4 years. Although the in memoriam is I'm gonna oh I don't know how to let me see if I can share the screen here. Let's see if I the in memoriam it says about 2009.
He survived COVID.
He survived through COVID, and then here we go. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Add to the stream. There is our
Fred
in
Lamar
memoriam. Sorry, that's not what I
In
wanted.
the arms of the angel. Oh, 2009. That's a wow. That's a long. I'm surprised.
4 years for a guy. He looks like a cool looking dude though. Like I'd probably get a beer with this guy.
I still don't get it. Like I know if they see their shadow or if they don't see their shadow is the decision of 6 weeks or not 6 weeks. How do you even tell if an animal sees its shadow? There's like, are these like are groundhogs like scared of their shadows so that they like freak out and run back in?
That might be how he died. I don't know.
He was like, ha!
What's that? Honestly, I'm not familiar with like do they I thought it was like I always thought they came up and then the guy with the top hat, if he saw the shadow, was like, we're screwed. Like today, Punks and Tony Phil, they saw it and they're like, oh, we're doomed. Yeah. But I don't really know. I don't even know how to start it. Like I really should Google Groundhog. But Groundhog Day, because of the movie, it's taken on this whole new like life, this whole new meaning, life of its own. And because before that movie came out, it wasn't you repeated your day all the time. Like that was nothing back then. Now that's what everybody associates with Groundhog Day, which is kind of phenomenal. Probably the most important story since A Christmas Carol for holidays.
Yeah, probably.
I got to tell you, I did. So I think it was, when did Man of Steel come out? It must have been 2013, 2014. I hadn't seen Man of Steel since the theater. And you know how I felt about the movie after. I was like, I wonder if I like that movie still. So I told Erin I wanted it, and she goes, well, tough. Christmas is over. And then I said, you know what we should do? We should do Groundhog Day presents. And I was joking. And she ended up getting a Man of Steel. Happy Groundhog Day. But then there's also the disclaimer, this will never happen again.
Wow.
Just so you know. Anyway, never tell me the odds. Just
never tell me the odds. I was
Day
like, where were we? So if you support us, you can be one of the following amazing people that we shout out every episode. Heidi Feder, executive producer, Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Randy Kenobi, Mary Kristen Aton, Jeff Wilson, Phil Staniforth, Rez, Scott D, Josh Price,
Matt W, Frank Perkins, Neil Lowry, Cosmic Girl 02, Gleek Play 1, Disney Desi, Charlotte, Kayla Davis, Dale Erdman, and the Den of Nerds, and No More Girls with Sabers Brock. They have disbanded. They sent us a nice letter saying thanks for everything. And I said, wow.
Wow.
But anyway, so those are. So thank you very much for all of our Patreons, and we really appreciate all your support.
Yeah. What are the odds today, Mr. James?
I have no idea. What are the odds that we will get an Ahsoka trailer sometime between episode 1 and episode 2 of The Mandalorian season 3?
40%. It seems just so specific. Like it's like this day and this date.
Well, my thing is, well, it could happen right at the end of Mando's episode 1, or then maybe like sometime in that week they'll be like, "Hey, You love Mando? Get ready to love this. But I think whatever episode Ahsoka or like Bo-Katan or somebody who's going to be in the Ahsoka show happens,
Yeah.
I think that's when we'll probably get a trailer. Like it'll be like, oh, you like this episode of Mando? You're going to like this more. So I'm going to go 37% because I don't think Ahsoka is making an entrance that early on in the season.
Right.
Our next odd character from Skeleton Crew will be a Mando. Probably like an old version of their character from Skeleton Crew if it takes place early on. But a character from Skeleton Crew will be in Mando.
I don't know. It's like, what is that show about? So I'm gonna go.
It's about Jude Law
25%.
Jude Law with a hood.
Oh, great.
Jude Law with the hood. Yeah, I'm gonna go 21%. It's probably higher. It probably will happen. If they're connected, it'll happen. But again, I don't know. I mean, what we heard about the show might be incorrect also.
Yeah.
And final odd today, Luke Skywalker will appear in season 3 of The Mandalorian. Are we going to get Luke Skywalker for the third time in a row?
Oh my god, I hope so.
Twitter hates you right now.
I would love it. Like someone did a fan poster of all the stuff that we saw Star Wars.
Yeah, I saw that.
2022, and it's just like, yeah, wow, we had a lot of stuff. Like it was great.
So much stuff. And
the
so much
odds of it happening, I'm gonna go 75%. You know, even though he's sort of saying if you go, you can't be part of this world anymore. I'm like, come on, man. Come on.
I'm gonna go low. I'm gonna go 11.12345%.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we've seen. I think they're going to give him a break for a little while, if not forever, for a little while at least. That's
Right.
But what do I know? Nothing.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Nothing. All right, you want to go to the news?
The news. Let's do it.
Hollow news, da 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 da. Hollow news, da 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 da. Hollow da 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 da.
Hollow news, the news you need to know right now. As we were speaking about before, Respawn Entertainment's follow-up to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order will arrive a little later than expected. The sequel, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, will now launch on April 28th. Respawn and publisher Electronic Arts announced this week. Game director Stig Asmussen and the Star Wars Jedi team are saying we are now focused entirely on the final stage, bug fixes to enhance performance, stability, polish, and more importantly, the player experience. They added, in order for the team to hit the Respawn quality bar, the team must provide what they need, the time they need, and achieve the level of polish our fans deserve. We've added 6 crucial weeks to our release schedule. And also, so yeah, April 28th, that's when you're going to get it. In other Fallen Order news, though, Lucasfilm has released the first excerpt for the upcoming novel Star Wars Jedi: Battle Scars, which aims to tell Kel Kestis' story between the events of the video game Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. So check that out, I believe, on StarWars.com. Yes, it is. It's there, and it shows Cal on a mission to infiltrate a Haxian brood base, the group of bounty hunters who briefly capture him during the events of Fallen Order. In Acolyte news, while not too much is known about the upcoming live-action Star Wars series, The Acolyte, a recent report from the Bespin Bulletin notes that Daphne Keene's character in the show may have had her name leaked. According to the report, a now-deleted listing on the talent agency network and independent talent listed Keene, who we all remember from the show Logan or movie Logan or the show Golden Compass, as playing a character named Jecki, Jecki, in the upcoming series. While that could have simply been a code name for her role, the fact that the listing has been deleted has led to some think that might be her character's real name in the show. And in celebration news, there has been new announcements of guests coming. Little more than 2 months between us and Star Wars Celebration in London. While single-day tickets are still available for the Friday, a new roster has been added to last week's initial badge. They are Hayden Christensen, Dennis Lawson, Mads Mikkelsen, Katie Sackhoff, and James Arnold Taylor, who voices Obi-Wan Kenobi in all the Star Wars cartoons that we always talk about. And this has been your Hollow News.
Okay, so we've got Luke Skywalker's car that he drives, and we have Darth Vader's car. But also, these were my favorite parts of the movie. Was when they drove their Star Wars cars.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, you know what? Before Disney ruined Star Wars, we had street racing, Fast and Furious, Star Wars.
Like, do you think of like whoever works for Hot Wheels, like the person that's like, what if we make cars and they were themed to different franchises, like $1 million?
It's literally just green with Luke and Yoda on the side.
Exactly. There's so many of those.
I mean, and what do they sell these for? $1 a pop, $2 a pop, whatever. Like,
yeah.
Fuck it. This was the Donald Duck I was telling you about. What the frick? From Monsters Inc. Kingdom Hearts. Anyway.
Yeah, it's Kingdom Hearts. But the Monsters Inc. like dimension or whatever it is in that game.
Top 5. The fun top five today. So if you're watching this, you're going to be missing a crucial ingredient. But we'll add it to this. So the audio version of this will be a little bit delayed. We're going to have music going on. Because it's top 5 songs referencing or about the Star Wars.
Boom. This is a good one. This is like when you texted it, I was like, that is a good one, James.
Yeah, I was really hoping that you would give me like another week to figure it out. But you're like, I've got my list. I'm like, I just texted you a minute ago. I'm very nervous. My list might not be complete. There might be songs. I'm betting there are songs I forgot about on here. It was like, I don't know why I thought of this, but we'll probably have to do this one again, like or B-side. How about our B-side to this album?
Yeah.
My number 5 is Death Star by Tenacious D. It's not really about Star Wars, but it's called Death Star. Well, you know Jack Black's a big Star Wars fan. Every May 4th, he does a nice little Instagram or TikTok or whatever video in support of Star Wars. So I'm going to go with Death Star by Tenacious D, and also brought inappropriate lyrics for this podcast.
My number 5 is Good Charlotte the Click, which most of you might remember from the short-lived cartoon show from MTV Undergrads, specifically the line that opens the song, "Just because I walk like Obi-Wan Kenobi." No more Star Wars references after that, but yeah.
No. Good call. I forgot about that one. I used to watch Undergrads all the time.
Yeah.
Because I walk like Obi-Wan Kenobi, you pretend that you never know me, or something like that. Along those lines.
Tons of Star Wars references in that show.
Yeah, well, yeah. Definitely a great show. And then need a second season. I'm too old for it now, but if you do it, I'm all for it. My number 4 is The Saga Begins by Weird Al. Cop out, maybe, but I love Weird Al, so that's why I picked Tenacious D. I'm just picking bands I like. The Saga Begins by Weird Al.
My number 4 is Red Hot Chili Peppers' Californication, a song I've heard over and over again and never really clocked that they say, and Alderon's not far away, it's Californication. Yeah. Space may be a Final Frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. And I'm like, that's legit like a quote from George Lucas.
So that was one that didn't make my list. And then there was I lost my train of thought, but there was another song that was similar to that didn't make my list too. I was like, oh, there was a song that did not on my list because no one would have heard of it. I worked on this music video like 12 years ago with Daryl and someone else, and the song in the middle of this rap went off about Star Wars in the middle of it, and not on my list because it's nothing. My number 3 is Wonderful by Everclear.
That's the one I couldn't remember.
Star Wars poster on my bedroom door. That is, and that's what makes you feel wonderful. That was like 1999. Like I watched Scream 2 the other day, and I'm like, the music, man. It's like it was a moment in time. It's weird because at the time you're like, oh man, this is like you're ruining it with like music from the moment. Now it's like the that music is nostalgic. It's like 40s music, you know, like the Rat Pack, but it's like weird alt rock.
I feel like
Creed is the Rat Pack.
If I watched American Pie 2 or Van
Yes.
Wilder, I'd be like, this is all the music I listened
Yeah,
to in
that's-
like high school. Like
American Pie 2 is literally just
specifically that one.
Can't Hardly Wait is the same too. They're just
Can't
like
Hardly
just
Wait,
play
yeah, yeah.
songs. If you just play songs
Yeah.
and you're like, this is that moment in time. These songs are the soundtrack of our life for sure. Yeah, American Pie 2 and Van Wilder, 100%. Your number 3?
My number 3 is one I didn't really know, but I searched it and I was like, yeah, I like this. Kanye West Guilt Trip, where he
Nice.
says Star Wars for I'm rocking Chewbacca. Boom.
I go Kanye West. He was on my most played. Well, he was featured on one of the songs on my most played from last year.
Nice.
So, yeah, I don't know if you're allowed to like him anymore though.
What I have zero problem. I think it's a shame that nobody's trying to get him some help, but whatever.
No, yeah, I mean, why? You don't help until it benefits you. My number 2 is Bicycle Race by Queen. Bicycle.
Oh
To
yeah.
ride my bicycle. Yeah, the line they mention a lot in that song in Star Wars.
And I
is
don't like
in
Star
there.
Wars.
Yeah.
That's
But
awesome.
he also wasn't he like on Darth Vader's shoulders in a concert somewhere. So he likes Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
That's
yeah,
my number 2.
My number 2 is Beastie Boys, Do It, featuring Biz Markie. Like gravies to potatoes, Luke to Darth Vader. I'm souped up sucker, and I'll see you later. Apparently, like there's a lot of Star Wars references through Beastie Boys like albums, but specifically J.J. Abrams loves the Beastie Boys to the point that like I think it was
Yes.
J.J. Abrams and he like Elo
Star
Asti
Trek
is
3.
like Star Trek 3 is a reference to Hello Nasty, their album, the character's name. So boom.
Great one. And my number 1, and the timing of this one's actually kind of perfect because they went on band on tour and they're going on tour after all of these years and everybody's excited and all the tickets were sold out. And that's Blink 182 song, A New Hope. The whole thing is about it. And my favorite part is when they're in the cantina drinking Colt 45 with Lando. It's so clever. Great song. My number 1, A New Hope by Blink 182.
Nice. My number 1 is Canada's own Word Burglar, a song called Dude, Where's My at, which I don't even need to quote it. The entire thing is about being a driver of an AT-AT.
I've never heard that song.
It's great.
I'll have to check it out. Let us know what your guys' songs are in the comments below or to the side or whatever, because we want to know. What did we miss? It's really there's so many more.
Yeah.
This was a fun top 5. We should do more fun top 5s.
Yeah, we should do more top 5.
We should every show we should do a top 5. I don't know why we haven't done it
Everyone.
yet. By the way, I'm trying to talk low because I think my daughter's sleeping right behind me in the other room. So I'm like, don't yell. She's great sleeping at night, but she will not nap during the day. And we're trying to change that. Oh, she gets
I've heard it.
And now she's like that, but louder with real tears too. So it's like she's doubling up. She just rolled over today for the first time from front to back. She did back to she did back to front today. She did front to back. Anyway, whatever. She's rolling now. It's like, oh my god.
Well, in the immortal words of Fred Durst, keep on rolling, baby. You know what time it is. Ba, 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 ba. This is a musical episode, I gotta say. It's pretty sweet. In the arms of the angels.
It's such a good picture of that freaking. I would hang that up in my study. I would have a study, first of all, and then I would hang it up. I would put it all down. All right, guys, let us know your top 5 in the comments below. Again, it'll probably be out tomorrow when the audio of this podcast. Usually it comes out right after. It'll probably be tomorrow so we can insert all those, like a line, just a little bit of the songs in there to listen to so you know what they are. And we'll put them all we'll put them in the bottom of this as well so you can see what our top songs were. All right, Brock, let's wrap it up. Anything else you want to say?
I think Toronto Comic-Con's coming up in March. I'm hoping to go, and I believe Emily Swallow, who plays the armor, is gonna be there. But I think also Seattle Comic Con's coming up as well, and I think Giancarlo Esposito and I think Emily Swallow as well is gonna be there. I think all the night owls are showing up because like they definitely got Katie Sackhoff to show up, so they got like I forget what her real name is, but she's oh god, the wrestler and the other dude. So like they're all there. So like if you're in Seattle, there's some Star Wars stuff going on. But if you're in Toronto, come here and see us.
All right.
All right then. Oh, and hit up Razile Pizza Party. You're getting behind the scenes. The pizza oven is right there. Right here.
It's got headphones and Christmas lights under it and an audio recorder. All the stuff you need to make pizza right there.
Go and check out James's TikTok for that. Watch him put ingredients on things like he's Salt Bay. It's perfect, you know.
It's funny because it's on TikTok, but it does better on everything else. So
perfect.
I'm too old for TikTok. It's on Instagram and YouTube. And
yeah.
Yesterday I did a garlic bread pizza. If you're interested in garlic bread pizza, it was delicious. But it did really well on Instagram. Died everywhere else, but it was very good on Instagram.
This guy knows pizza.
Garlic bread pizza. I got a special one coming up for Valentine's Day. If anyone celebrates that, yeah, Aaron's gonna hate it, but I'm gonna love it, and that's all that matters. And I got.
I had a cookie pizza yesterday, actually.
Yes, really.
I had from.
Is that just a pizza? Is that just like cookie in a triangle?
Warmed up cookie.
Yeah,
like a python.
So my mom used to make that for my sister for her birthday because she hated cake, so she'd get a giant cookie. And I'm like, oh my god.
I'm just saying, we got to go back to the old days. Bruschetta pizza, like it's Pizza Nova.
I did that on Sunday. I did bruschetta pizza on Sunday. Yeah, that one did quite well, actually. It was good because it was football. It was a football game. Like, you know what would be a good snack for football? Bruschetta. So I did that. Put it on. Yeah, and I made it, and it took me like 4 hours to make because I have to cut. I don't know what I'm talking. I cut all the ingredients myself because I'm a loser. And I was like, what's taking so long? I'm like, I have to cut it perfectly. And I'm not a chef or anything, so I don't know what I'm doing. Plus, I'm like, don't cut my hand off because I'm very clumsy also.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for that. All right, everybody. This is our show. 274 episodes. Brock, you were always Scum. Wait. There's 5 people watching. We've got to tell them. February 7th is Star Wars Podcast Day. We're going to be a part of that. And then we got some cool stuff coming up. We're going to do March Madness with some characters. Patreon, stay tuned for all that. Yeah. And International Women's Day, we've got something else cooking for that one, which might be a disaster. We're going to find out how it's going to go, but I'm looking forward to it. If it might be a disaster in that it's not someone who does podcasting and someone who's never seen Star Wars. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It could be a good one. It could be. All right. You were always Scum.
Rebel Scum.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.